Welcome to Storytime, brought to you by the OWSCyCon2019, the online book event of the year. I took midnight, but she didn't like the idea of me approaching the waterfall, so she stayed a little behind. It's beautiful, isn't it? A voice interrupted my thoughts once again. Yes, I turned, and Jonathan was there with his smile. So many colours. I smiled. Exactly. I could stare at it all day, but I don't think it would capture all its beauty. He laughed. I'm sure you can try. How did you sleep? He asked. Good. How many days I slept? He raised his eyebrows. What makes you say that? He asked curiously. It can't have passed only half a day. He smiled. No, but it's morning of the next day that you came. Only one day? Wow, that was fast. What are you doing? I smiled. I'm calculating how deep the water is. He stared. No, Eva, you can't be thinking. I didn't let him finish. I ran and jumped in the waterfall. You will think, are you stupid? No, I wasn't. If I could see myself mirrored in the water, and there was no way the water was too deep, and I was a witch, I could have casted a spell and no one would know, since the noise of the water would cover me. The water was clear and surprisingly warmer than I expected. It was cool. I was glad because it was a warm, sunny day. It was like I was going to the sea, only that I had never been in one. Are you out of your mind? You could have been killed. I smiled at him. By what? Fish? I don't think they like the waterfall, and anyway, I didn't. You can come if you want. Why was he acting like this? If anyone heard him, they would think I jumped in a volcano. He looked at me shocked. What about your clothes? Ridiculous. I can wash them, but it's clear water, not even sea water. We can even drink from this, and it's just cool water, not even freezing cold. He shook his head. I can't believe you, he said. And then I didn't even have time to blink, and he was right next to me. You could warn me next time, I said. He shook his head, blinking water drops from his black eyelashes. You told me to come. Why did his eyes have the same colour as the water? He swam gracefully in the waterfall, and I stood there. Fortunately, I could bottom, but I dared not go any deeper. Well, come. The water is cool. You started it anyway, he laughed. And I was just standing there. What? He asked. I can't swim. He looked at me. Why? I shrugged. I don't know how. He swam towards me. Really? He stood now. This is not a peasant skill. We are not required to swim, but I do know how to fish. He smiled. And what would happen if you had to jump in a river to rescue yourself? I would use magic, but I just said, I will not find myself in such a situation. He smiled. I guess not, he said, and took my arms to show me how to swim. He was warm, even if the water was cool. I guess there were things I still had to learn. After a few attempts I had mastered floating, and after a while I could go up and down the river. Well, I guess now you can jump into rivers, he laughed. I looked at him and I saw his gold aura dance around him, and it was shaped like wings. What was going on? He was not an angel, not a real one like Alec, who was half, and I didn't see things like that. What was happening? Well, that's strange, he said. I stared at him. Surely he couldn't see the wings. He had moved closer to me. What's so strange? I said, trying to cover my fluster. There's a rainbow, and yet there's no rain. Oh, great. I created a rainbow. Well, maybe it rained before or elsewhere. You never know. He was looking at me strangely. It's like that day. He seemed almost lost at thought. What day? He smiled, a radiant smile that warmed my heart. The day I first saw you in the market. There was a rainbow, but it didn't rain before. He smiled, taking my hand. I remember that day. I was angry and tired, so Alex suggested we went outside for a while. I never understood why he liked these walks so much, and was about to suggest that we leave when I saw you. You had on a green dress, and Rita was talking to you, and you laughed once. This sound was like music, like birds were singing, and you were indifferent to what was around. Everyone knew who I was, but you passed thinking I was just a boy. Why was he telling me this? Why did he make things more difficult? And since when did he call Rita by her first name? A few times Rita was with me, he called her Miss, and once in a while Miss Rita, but never by her first name. What changed? I was so caught up in my thoughts I didn't anticipate his next move, just like the other time. He leaned and kissed me, and everything went upside down. It was gold everywhere, and I was drinking water and menthe and silver. But he did not have a two-coloured aura. I don't understand. The kiss was fire and rain, cold and warm, thunder and fireballs. It was like I was flying and falling at once. Then I heard a thunder, but that was a real thunder, so I pulled away and looked up. I had made the sky rain and filled with thunders. This weather is so unpredictable. First rainbows and then rain. What kind of weather is this? It's weather with a name. Forecast Eva, where anything can happen. While we went out of the river, I was thinking, first he made me cause an entire blackout of a city, and now this. What is going on with my powers? Or with my feelings? Or both? If I continued to feel like this around him, things would be really bad. He could make me throw thunders and rainbows out of nowhere. This story time was read by Timothy Bateson and brought to you in conjunction with the OWSCyCon 2019. OWSCyCon runs from May 17th through May 19th. You can find us at OWSCyCon.OurRightSide.com. Again, OWSCyCon.OurRightSide.com. We have events happening across all genres. If you are a reader, you cannot afford to miss this event. You never know. You may just find your next best read.